Hello, today we're going to be working on generating connecting introductions and conclusions using truisms. Let's get started by looking at the definitions for the three major terms. First, a truism is an opinion and or an observation about a topic that both leads into an essay and it also closes an essay out. Generally, a truism is 1 to 3 sentences. Next, we need to know that an introduction begins an essay. It's the beginning paragraph that leads the audience into the topic. An introduction includes minimally 2 things, a truism and a thesis statement. And remember that a thesis statement is your stance on your topic as it relates to the prompt. Finally, a conclusion is the last paragraph of an essay or the ending paragraph. And that leaves the audience with an additional truism to think about, maybe the same idea, only restated in a different way. And then there's the restatement of the thesis, which is again the same idea, but restated in another way. We're going to practice using a prompt about whether most criminals are adults. I'm going to do a think aloud so you see how I generate my truism. And then you're ready to be on your own. If you need additional assistance, there will be an additional example at the end of the video. Use your discretion. Let's get started. Based on the essay prompt, I chose from my insider chart the following thesis statement. Shamefully, more adolescents commit crimes than adults. So let me think about what I know. I know that youth should not be committing crimes, or they should possibly be participating on sports teams. Instead of that, they're finding their way into trouble by stealing and committing violent acts. I don't know if I want to get specific because a truism is mostly general. So I think I have an idea as to how to put all my thoughts together. I began my truism with my first opinion. Today, there are too many youths committing crimes. Then I put in an observation. Rather than playing sports and hanging with friends, children regularly break the law. And then I end my truism with another opinion. Their misconduct is unacceptable. So now I'm ready to move on to creating my connected conclusion. In order to create my truism for my conclusion, I'm simply paraphrasing some of the ideas that I have in my introduction. For example, there are too many youths committing crimes, so I might say something similar to, we need to decrease youth committing crimes. And then for the next sentence, rather than playing sports and hanging with friends, children regularly break the law, I might say it another way by framing my idea around the fact that children no longer have childhoods. And then finally, where I have their misconduct is unacceptable, I might say that we need to do something about it. You see how I'm keeping the same ideas and the same foundation, but I'm shifting the words around and using new words? This is where your thesaurus comes in handy. Let's see what I come up with here. My truism reads, recently, society's youngsters are involved in misconduct. Instead, they should be enjoying their childhood. Adults should object to their behavior. Now I only have to restate my thesis. My initial thesis is, shamefully, more adolescents commit crimes than adults. So remember, I'm keeping that same idea, I'm just going to say it another way. I'm considering rephrasing my thesis statement to say something like, adults are committing fewer crimes and that's not okay. Because it keeps the same idea, it's just rephrased so it sounds slightly different. Let's see what I come up with. The restatement of my thesis reads, adults today are committing fewer crimes than youth, and that is not okay. If you understand the concept and you're ready to begin your lesson, you may stop here. For those of you who would like an additional practice, you may continue listening to see me talk through another truism in an introduction, another truism in a conclusion, as well as my thesis and the restatement of my thesis. Thank you guys. I know you're going to knock it out of the park. Good luck. Let's look at practice number 2's prompt. Write an essay on whether excitement can be bad. As a reminder, in our introduction, we need both a truism and a thesis statement. Our thesis statement was already pulled over from our insider chart, and it reads, while excitement feels good, people should avoid overdosing on it. So the thesis statement that I've chosen sides with the fact that excitement can be bad. Now I need to follow the 3 steps that will lead me into generating a good truism. First, I need to ask myself what I know about the topic. I know that excitement sometimes feels good, but sometimes it can be overwhelming. I also know that it creates several proprioceptions or responses from our body, like tingling, quick breath, heart beating fast. I also know that my grandmother told me that too much of anything, and I'm thinking excitement, can be bad. So I think maybe I'll include that in an opinion statement. Let's see what I come up with for my truism. My truism reads, when exposed to exciting events, hearts race and palms tingle. Everyone must experience these reactions at some point in their lives. No one is exempt. However, since too much of anything can be bad, we have to be careful of how many thrills we expose ourselves to. And just a reminder, the thesis is, while excitement feels good, people should avoid overdosing on it. Just like before, I'm going to take the same central ideas and restate them using different words. So for my truism, I'm going to mention something about how excitement impacts our bodies. I won't say the exact same thing about the hearts and the palms, but I will use that central idea. Similarly, in the second sentence, when I talk about everyone must experience reactions that relate to excitement in their lives and no one can get away from it, I'm going to use that same central idea of the fact that excitement is something that can't be avoided, but I'm going to not say it the exact same way. And finally, when I give the warning in the third sentence of my truism that tells us that we have to be careful about thrills and excitement, I'm going to give another warning, but I'm going to say it another way. And my restated thesis will be paraphrased in a way that talks about avoiding not overdoing exciting things. Again, restated another way. Let's see what I come up with for my truism. My new truism reads, most like feeling the rush that comes from enjoyment. Thrills cannot be avoided. The problem stems from non-stop sensations. Just as a reminder, this is when you want to use your thesaurus so that you take those same words and ideas and you say them another way. Now I need to say my thesis in another way. Let's see what I come up with. My restated thesis reads as follows. When it comes to excitement, remember, everything in moderation. Now you're ready to practice on your own. Remember the steps. Ask yourself what you know about your topic. How might you describe your topic? And then consider your opinion about your topic. Noting your ideas as you go along is okay. Just make sure to turn those ideas into 1, 2, or 3 sentences for your introduction and also for your conclusion. You're going to rock it out. Good luck!